And we're here with a very special guest. We're live in Honolulu, Hawaii right now. And I'm here with a very talented artist, Anjeza.
Hi, Justin. Thank you for having me. I'm great. I'm awesome. Talking from Los Angeles, wishing I was in Hawaii.
You've been doing lots of great work, as I just mentioned. Let's talk about your latest track that's been out for a while.
Yeah. So it has been out for a month. Bailalo. Well, usually, my music, like latest music, has been shot all in Cuba. I love traveling when I shoot. I want authentic music. I want authentic instruments. I like to travel to different countries to capture the culture, to capture the sounds, and the places are amazing. So Bailalo was shot in Cuba. The music is a reggaeton mixed fusion with bachata. It's kind of like a new fusion genre that recently a lot of artists have been using it. It made sense to me being a former dancer in bachata, salsa, all these things. It made sense to me to add this touch to the music. Very beautiful song, and talk about dance and having a good time and being with your family and friends and dancing. That's what it's not really deep, but it's just a fun song. I danced all my life, and I've always felt that I wanted to do music that makes people feel good, makes people happy, makes people dance. One of my goals, obviously I mix right now, I sing in 9 different languages, but I'm focused the last year doing just Spanish music. And my happiness is when somebody from another culture that doesn't speak Spanish listen to my music and say, you know what, I don't care what you're saying, I just want to dance. It just makes me happy. And you are connecting with them with the music. That has always been my goal. Through my music, my goal has always been through the lyrics to empower and inspire people, and through the music to make them feel good. We went through a lot this last 2 years. Being able to be an instrument of change, this is my vision. This is my wish.
Yeah, I want to continue on what you just mentioned. I know that you can speak a lot of languages. I know that you know 4 languages as well. What is your favorite language to speak in? And what is your favorite language to sing in?
Well, hands down in Spanish. I have immersed in the Latin culture, not necessarily like, people are like, why did you choose it? Did you choose because it works right now? For me is, since I was a kid, Latin music, Latin dance has been so dear to my heart. It made me happy. Like I'll be sitting and feeling sad, and you hear Latin music and you just feel like dancing. So definitely Spanish music. I speak in Spanish. I sing in Spanish. I dream in Spanish. The closest people in my life, my boyfriend is Latin as well. So everything that surrounds this language is just so beautiful. Sometimes I even pray in Spanish. You just connect differently when you speak in Spanish and sing in Spanish. I always say that I didn't choose Latin music or Spanish language. It chose me because, there are moments when you encounter someone or something in life and you just click and you're like, this is what I've been looking for. This is what was calling me. And that's what happened with me with Latin music.
Yeah, because, we were talking earlier, you're European American. Being a European American artist that's not even Latin
Yeah.
in any descent, I mean,
But just to correct you, Justin, I did my DNA testing. I was 97% Greek and Albanian. I was 3% Italian, so I have some Latin. My sister says they just give it to you because they felt bad. My culture, where I come from, Albania, and although it's located in Eastern Europe, we were influenced by Turkey, by Greece, by Italy. We were so much influenced because all these countries took over our country. So the language, the music, if you actually go to Albania and you hear music, even like Albanian music has this rhythm of Latin music, has this rhythm of Turkish music. So you hear our music is like this kind of mix something with something. So since I was a child, I was so introduced to a colorful sound. So for me, it was so easy to shift it. I wasn't like in the box. I was like, oh, well, this is nice because we got this color and we got this color. And I had all the palette to bring like a rainbow. That's why when I chose music, I was more in fusion music. My main genre that I work on is a reggaeton flamenco. And the reason I chose that is because it has the urban and it has the classical. Because I always felt you want to intertwine the street and the studio or the classical, the theater. You want to intertwine together and unite these audiences because music is so beautiful. Reggaeton, for example, has a background Afro-Latin, both very rich cultures. And being able to intertwine this for me was so normal.
You danced before. What was your enjoyment? I'm sure you probably still incorporate it in your music today, right?
Yes, absolutely. I call it my second love because my first love is God. Dance healed me and saved me and protected me, because living in a country that you don't have anything, you literally don't have food on the table. My escape was, I'm gonna go dance. I started aerobic dancing at the beginning. My coach was saying, oh, you have a lot of skills, you should do this and you should do that. And for me, I would come back from school, I would throw my bag, and I would go outside and I would go dancing. And to me, that was me finding an outlet, finding a place that I didn't have time to feel bad. So I would express myself through dance. And whenever I was dancing, I was happy. And then a dance would end, and then you go back home, and then you'd see the reality, the hardships. You'd see your mom, you see your dad, you see things are happening. You don't have food, but you'd go back to dance, and that was, so empowering. Speaking on those terms, I started 5 years ago a children nonprofit organization that we provide art classes to under-resourced children, teaching dance, singing, acting, modeling, to empower and inspire them. I'm the fruit of art healing people. So I want to be able to leave that legacy for other kids as well. How they come introvert and sad and unhappy because of things that are going on in life. And after 10 classes, like emerging, and they're so happy, they're doing commercials and they're dancing. It just makes, I look at myself there, like this was me. Like dance saved me, music saved me, acting saved me,
Now, knowing that you've come this far in your career, what is something that you wish you would have known when you first started out in your career?
I spent 6 years trying to figure out who is Anjeza. I was doing pop dance at the beginning. I was doing EDM music. Nothing wrong about these genres. They're all cool. It just didn't identify me. I was singing EDM music, but I didn't agree with what's happening in the clubs, I was doing pop music, but it was like I was like lost. I was just, there was no passion. If you notice my trajectory in my music, and you see that music started from 2011, you see disco music, you see hip hop, you see EDM. It's very confused, and I think it's part of growth as well. You have to figure it out. You don't just land on it. But I feel like if I actually had used those 6 years and focused on Latin music, I'll probably be further, but I don't regret it, because at the place where I am right now, when I'm dealing with people, I come with all this experience of everything I went through. And I know that now what I'm looking for, what is my vision, as I said to you before we started this interview, I actually got my editing program, the Pro Premiere, Adobe Premiere, and do editing my own videos because I have that vision. Video that's coming up in March 21st it has a very strong message. You hear the song, and it's about a relationship, right? It says that I don't want you anymore. That's what it is, the song. And it sounds fun. Yeah, those relationships, you loved somebody, they didn't appreciate you, and they just walked away. You're like, you know what? I don't want you back. But what I wanted is a vision as Anjeza. I wanted to show that this person that didn't want this thing anymore was the addiction, was the darkness, was the choices they have done, whatever that is, right? We're not perfect, right? We make choices sometimes that are not good for us. So literally during the whole video, it's a boxing video. I'm dressed with white, and it's me again dressed with black, and I'm fighting myself, and it's fighting my darkness, fighting my choices, because I know I deserve better. And I'm telling my darkness, do not come back anymore, because I don't want you. So I was trying to explain this to editors, and they're like, oh, that's cool. Let's put this girl with a bikini fighting with another girl. It's fun. It works. I'm like, no, it's not about working. I want a message. I want to submit it to film festival. We are going through a lot of issues with mental illness, right? With people struggling. I want this song to be, I'm going to fight, and I know it's going to be tough, but I'm going to win at the end. Light wins always over darkness. Having this depth and having this experience coming from where I come from, I don't regret what I went through and where I went through, because it landed me here.
I know that you've done pop, EDM. You're on a TV show. You're a guest star on a TV show. So yeah, what was that experience like, being on a guest role on a soap opera? I believe it was for a show in Mexico.
Yeah. That was a dream come true for me, and I'll tell you why. I never studied Spanish. I learned Spanish from telenovelas, like watching shows since I was a child. I spoke Italian, so it was similar. And I grew up watching these actors, and I loved them. I ended up being casted on a telenovela where they are there. And it was so touching to me. Like, This literally is like anything can happen in life. You are spending all your childhood watching these actors. You love these actors. You learn Spanish from these actors, and they have become like such a role model to you to one day be possibly just close to meet them. And when you end up being in the same project with them, you're like, wow, everything can happen. Everything can be fulfilled if you're focused and you are working on your craft, on your passion. How this happened, how I was casted, it was literally like a miracle. Somebody told me, hey, my friend in Mexico, it's casting for a telenovela. It's a short role. It was a DA, it was like a half a page. Hey, why don't you submit for it? And I looked at it, I was like, well, it's older than my age. She's like, just submit, you know? So I submitted immediately. I sent to him. The guy wasn't looking at it because, you know, I had a WeTransfer link. I was like, oh, he's not looking at it. He's not watching it. And she's like, you know what? Just talk to him. She gave me his WhatsApp number. Talking to him, and we became friends in a sense. He's like, hey, I'm looking for other actors. He wanted all male actors. That's the goal he had. And I was the only female. So I helped him find other actors. And there was this specific role, the lawyer role. They didn't like anybody, you know? And they was shooting in Mexico. My role was shooting in LA. So it was like a small, you know, it's still every role that's amazing, right? And then I was joking with him. I said, hey, I can put a mustache. I can be a man, you know, I can play that role if you're struggling. From the purest of heart, I was just joking. It wasn't me just trying to hint or anything. So after he had to shoot like literally in a week, he was a casting director for 13 years for Televisa. And he's like, you know what? Let me talk to the producer. Maybe we change the role in a female role. I was like, what? So he said, let me talk to the producer. He said, send me a taping of this role, which was 2 episodes, which was great, you know? Send me a tape. This is the pages. Send me in less than 24 hours, he said, and I'll let you know. I was like, what? I'm going to send it in an hour, you know? So I went, I self-taped it, I sent it to him immediately, and I can tell from him. He literally saw it on WhatsApp, like, you know, it goes those 2 lines blue. He looked at it. I didn't even ask any producer. He saw the talent. He saw, you know, he liked it. And he goes, it was like 2 minutes, the whole video. And he goes, it was like, I'm just staring at him. It was like, what is going to be? He's like, love it. He said, it's yours. I was like, what? So we went to Mexico. We shot 2 days in Mexico. Not only that, but the director of the show really liked my acting, really liked my work. So he said, I'm going to go in LA. I really want you to be on set with us. So I became a personal assistant, a translator on set. I was translating Spanish to American actors with a Spanish that I never studied. I learned from telenovelas, with a director with huge credits, with a network it's the biggest in Mexico. And I was there translating. And at one point he said, can you translate what she said? I said, you know that she's speaking Spanish. He's like, yeah, I know, but your vision is different. He said, I want you to translate to me from Spanish to Spanish. Like, I want you to tell them what is my vision for this. And he was like, what is just happening? It was such a blessing for me. Unfortunately, in the same time, my mom was in surgery, heart surgery. So I did not feel that excitement, that achievement in my life. I was literally having dinner and crying while I'm having the best achievement in my life, you know, acting wise. And it just felt like, Justin, no matter what you have in life, if you don't have love, if you don't have your family, it just doesn't mean anything. Because you can have the highest success in the world. You can have the money and everything else. If you don't have someone to share it with, and my mom is such a fan, and being able to see her that she's so sick and she cannot even enjoy this achievement, it just made me feel like, why am I doing this? Why am I here if I don't have somebody to share? And luckily, with the God's blessing, she's fine. You know, she's good. And she always mentioned to me that I feel bad. She says that you weren't able even to enjoy that achievement. But everything, you know, I'm a big believer, everything happens for a reason. So I needed to see that, to understand that even if you have everything in life, you still have to remember to have the base, the roots. You want to have family, you want to have love, you want to have people that care for you, because without it, it's just like shallow. It's just, you know, it's a nice surface.
You've traveled quite a lot, and I know that you've been to a lot of different places. You've been to Italy, you've been to Greece, you've been to Russia, Romania, Germany, Turkey. In music, who are some of your inspirations?
All these countries, my goal has always been to travel. I love traveling. I like seeing different cultures. I like seeing the reality of things. I always tell people it's so important. The best training, the best teaching is travel. You get to see different people, different cultures, the different way of thinking. And what you learn from traveling, Justin, is being tolerant. It's being able to understand what people are walking through. When I was in India and I was there for 2 months, being able to see how people are surviving, barely surviving. When I got back and I went to this little studio that I had at the time, I was so grateful. I was like, wow, I have so much. I have a car. What is this? So being able to travel, not only music wise, it influences you, you want to make it richer, depth wise, emotionally and mentally, it influences you to say, who am I? What am I going? What do you want Anjeza to be? What do you want Anjeza to stand for? While you travel, you notice that life is so short. Things can happen. People don't live too long in some countries. People don't have things that I have. So all this thing packs you. And one of the reasons that Anjeza does fusion music is because of that. Because I feel like if I do one genre of music, which I used to do, like, pop or EDM, I'm leaving out so much richness. And one of the reasons that I moved into reggaeton, and I'll tell you about reggaeton because there's a lot of ideas about reggaeton, which is true, that it's objectified women, It has bad words, bad lyrics, in the sense like nasty lyrics. They don't empower people. So when they ask me, how is Anjeza in the reggaeton world when you don't do reggaeton music? Like they're hearing my music and say, we don't like reggaeton music, but your music is good. We like your music because it has the rhythm. I have the reggaeton rhythm, but I have the message that is clean. I don't want the woman to be objectified. I want the woman to be lifted, to be empowered, to be inspired. And I want us women to succeed in the music industry because it's harder for women. This country has influenced my sound because when I chose reggaeton, it had that African Latin genre. And flamenco has that, not only the Spain, it comes from the Arabic, has the sound. That cry, it just touches you differently. And then you go and you say, I'm going to be a warrior. Like one of the songs, I'm going to be a warrior. I'm going to overcome this, And it's la, la, la. Oh, this, you cannot capture this in EDM, Obviously you can put it. And I was missing the authenticity of the sound. I was missing the world. I was missing the language of people. I was missing culture in my music. And that's why traveling, and I continue to travel, like the recent song Bailalo, that it has that bachata, dun, 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 it has that. And people dance and people hear it. Like, in Los Angeles, there's a lot of Armenian people. There's a lot of Egyptian people, and they don't understand Spanish, but they're like, dun, 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 dun. They enjoy, they love it. Because what I'm doing is I am bringing culture to the world. This is what I wanted. I wanted to unite people. There's so much hate in the world. There's so much like, I do it this way, you do it this way. That's fine. Do it that way. Being able to unite and be in one place, everybody all the same. We are in the same place and we are dancing. It doesn't matter what the song is saying. We are having fun. So just to pinpoint, I don't know if this is part of your question, but it's something in my heart that I want to share it with you. Recently, I was told, like really recently, they're like, hey, you don't have a big budget. You don't have an investor behind you to push you because nobody wants to talk about your music. That's what I was told. No journalists, no media, because, it's okay. Your music, it's okay. You like your music, but you don't have bad lyrics. You don't have trashy lyrics. You're not going to make it because you are not doing like a scandal. You have to do a scandal. Like you need to do like what Karol G did to kiss somebody. You need to undress yourself. And I was offended. I was very offended with this specific person. And I told him what I had to say. And he's like, oh, no, I wasn't saying this. I love your music. I love what Anjeza does. I said, but you don't. Because you are diminishing the value of a true artist that writes the songs, that has a message, that want to make a difference. Because you think to make it, you have to diminish yourself as a woman. You have to diminish yourself as an artist. And that's what works. And that's what people want to hear. Myself as an artist is like a teacher, right? As a teacher, you are inspiring the new generation to be better. You don't want to go to school and say, hey, school is trash. You don't need to study. Just don't need, I'm going to give you A's because you are not serving the purpose that you were meant to. As an artist that has a message to music, that has a deep message, my goal is not to send the audience to trash or to hell. My audience is to unite them and make them feel good and make them dance and make them have fun because it's part of life. So I was really touched by it. And it kind of hurt me, but it also inspires me. It kind of really pinpoints that who Anjeza is. And it's not, it's not a regular direction that a lot of people are going through. but that's okay. A lot of people ask me like, who is your inspiration as an artist? Like, who do you look up to? And as bad as it sounds, I do not have anybody young right now that is doing the same thing that say, you know what, I want to be like them. And it's a shame because female artists, especially in the reggaeton world, they are not standing in their level. Even at different genres, I cannot tell because where I'm right now, but I don't have a role model musically to be like, this is how I want to be. And it's sad because you want to have a mentor in life. And what I am doing with my music is following my path, following my brand, establishing it, and making it stronger. And I'm like without guidance in a sense, but I'm digging deep inside me and understanding what does Anjeza want to do? What does Anjeza want to bring to the audience? And that's what it is.
You've mentioned your keys to success. You've mentioned how you've been able to stay motivated and how you've been able to keep striving. That's such a true testament of who you are as an artist and what you're doing.
Thank you.
What you're presently working on right now, you got an upcoming project, upcoming song. But as far as your future goals and your future plan, what can we expect from you?
There is a lot of music coming up. There is the new song that is coming up. The video is coming up in March 21st. That's the goal. There is more songs coming up that are already set to be released. I am looking to have more feature to work with different artists. That's the goal. The goal is to go to Colombia, to go to Puerto Rico. There's a lot of amazing artists and producers there that would be great to have a collaboration with. The whole year 2022 it's like I have songs to release in this year, but I'm always open to things changing. One of the songs I'm working right now is a reggaeton mexicano. So it has reggaeton and it has tumbao. It has the original Mexican music, which is really tough to create. You are intertwining original music with reggaeton. And the reason we did that is because Mexican, the original music, it's so classical, it's so depth, it has so, it stands on its own. And being able to intertwine with reggaeton, because for me, all music has been a fusion, would be uniting these two different cultures of urban and Mexican music into one. We have the song ready, and I'm looking forward to do a feature with an established Mexican singer, a female. The song is very empowering, talks about women, business women, strong women, working their life and being independent. And the song is called She's the Boss. And it has the flamenco, it has the reggaeton, and it has the Mexican, the regional sound. And it's like, whoa, like what is this song? But it is beautiful. So right now, currently, we are looking for a Mexican artist, female, that actually can carry the song, not necessarily, be too young or too old, be like, when you see it, it speaks the song. So that's what we are in the process for. Recently, I actually encountered a composer as an artist, and he heard my music. He's like, I love your compositions. I love your music. I love what you stand for. He said, we will talk. I said, I want to do a feature with you. He's like, we will do it. I was like, oh, because he's very big. I just threw it out there. I said, I want to do a feature with you. He's like, yeah, we'll do it. And it's amazing. It inspires and empowers you. And it tells you're not making it because you have this beautiful message and strong message. And you need to be like trashy and everything else. And then somebody else that has a huge career, a huge trajectory, listens to music and says, no, you have something great. Image, you have the sound, you have the voice, you have the composition. No, we need to work together. And it kind of like, you have to make your choices in life. Which one do I want to go? And it's the same with the song that I'm releasing right now. Everything we're going through in life is because somehow we had taken choices in the past.
And if we had to pick a feature collaboration,
he's an amazing artist, amazing lyricist, composer. And with everything right now that he changed, that he moved to a different part, like he wants to do music. We don't know what he's going to come up with, but he was always courageous. He was always doing music that makes a difference in the world. He was creating genres, and he wasn't afraid that it's not going to work out. He came up with different genres, and he was very courageous. And when he said it, it's like, Farruko, I have been doing this all my life. I never wanted to do music that has a message that hurts the audience, right? And when he said that, he said, knowing that my music can hurt somebody, it's just like, I'm not doing this world, I'm not serving a purpose. Ideally, I feel like somebody that understands what I'm going through, like I want to do music that has a good message, would be Farruko.
Been a pleasure to interview you. I'm glad that we had a chance. Just want to say, wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Hopefully sometime you come to Hawaii and perform.
Yeah, that was my goal. It'd be so nice. Justin, thank you so much. I appreciate your time sitting there and wanting to know more about what I'm doing. For us artists, it's an honor to be able to have a media being interesting in our story, because we all have a story. And thank you so much for listening. And hopefully, we get to see each other soon.
Yeah, Hawaii has a big Latin scene out here, so.
I'm there. That's awesome. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know that. So it's a very Latin music. It's very developed. I mean, I guess it's known in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. The next show is happening. Let me know.
Most definitely. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you.